Hey, how are you doing, Miss Agus?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your week been going?
Oh, it's been good so far.
Yeah.
Just working hard, and I went camping this last weekend with family, which was really fun.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Where did you guys go?
We went down to Big Sur.
Oh, I love Big Sur.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Did you have good weather?
It was sunny. I got a little sunburn, but
Okay.
that's okay. I didn't put on enough sunscreen.
That always happens to me. I'm gonna set a timer for us just so that we stay on track. I'll put on 8 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Tate, remind me, what was your goal from last week?
Yeah, so I was working on getting caught up in my focus areas.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that we talked about one was a math focus area and one was a history focus area.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was trying to pass both of those. The math one was all about computation, and the history one was all about the French Revolution.
Okay. And so tell me, how did that go for you?
Well, I passed the math one, which was really good. Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah. The history one I didn't pass though.
Okay.
So, I mean, I did. I got a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so tell me about that math one. What's this was computations with percents.
Correct.
Okay. And so what strategies did you use in order to pass that?
Yeah. So I tried to study on my own for a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I took the content assessment,
Okay.
and I didn't pass.
Okay.
But I saw that I had missed one objective
Mm-hmm.
mostly, and so I studied the resources on that objective a bit more,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went to a friend and I got some support from a friend, and then I took the assessment again and I passed it.
Hmm. So I'm hearing is it sounds like you were sort of persisting through, and you were studying using. Were you when you were studying? How are you studying?
Yeah, I was taking notes and just using some of the resources, but my notes were kind of messy. And I knew I didn't really know that objective.
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to get lucky.
Got it. Okay. So you were sort of going through trying to do it yourself, and then at some point you realized that you needed to get some help.
Yeah.
How did you make that decision?
Yeah, well, when I saw that I didn't do so well on
Mm.
that objective, and then I
Mhm.
looked through the resources and then I still didn't get it,
Mm.
I was like, well, I need to talk to someone about this,
Mm.
or I'm just not going to get it because I've done my best and tried a few times now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what I appreciate about that is it sounds like you were you really were giving it a shot in terms of trying to be persistent, but when you recognized that that wasn't working for you, you shifted strategies. Um, Great. So, and who helped you out with your math?
Yeah, it was my buddy Jake.
Great. And when Jake was going through it with you, how did he help you understand it?
Yeah, so we went. There was a little whiteboard over in the corner,
Mm-hmm.
and we went over there during PLT time.
Mm-hmm.
We were collaborating. We got permission to go collaborate by our facilitator,
Mm-hmm.
and he just walked me through some of the problems in that objective
Mm-hmm.
and explained to me like, "Hey, here's what you need to do on this step." And I know that the videos had some of the same thing, but this helped it click for me in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did a few of the problems, and
Mm-hmm.
he watched me do them.
Mm-hmm.
And when I would make a mistake, he'd say, "Oh, well, here's what it looks like you're trying to do, but actually you need to do this."
Okay. So I'm hearing a couple of things. One that you, like maybe doing it on the whiteboard and actually doing the practice problems was helpful because it got you to like you were able to try and apply some of what you learned, and then also that it was helpful to hear from someone who knew how to go through the problem. Is that right?
Yeah, both of those were nice.
Okay. I'm wondering if which are you in the next time that you approach a math focus area, are you going to continue using those strategies, or do you think you'll try one and then the other? What are you thinking?
Yeah, so I know I can't always work with people, and I don't always need to. Um, So I think if I'm getting stuck, I'm definitely gonna reach out to Jake again,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe someone else if Jake's busy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'll definitely keep doing that strategy in the
Mm-hmm.
future.
Okay. And what about the practice problems? Is that part of something that do you when you were studying by yourself, or were you also doing the practice problems, or was that something that you started doing when you were working with Jake?
Yeah, I didn't practice that much, so that's definitely something I need to do more of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I did like one or two practice problems, and I didn't
Mm-hmm.
really get it.
Mm-hmm.
And but then I watched the video, and it showed me the practice problem, and I thought I got it, but I didn't try again another one.
Right. Yeah. I think that is one of the most important pieces in math is those practice problems. I've seen so many students initially who are struggling with a focus area. Once they started doing the practice problems over and over again and starting to realize where there were pieces that they knew, where there were pieces that they needed to go back and study, where they might need to go get help, that really helped them. So I definitely encourage you to continue that practice and even use the whiteboard if that helps as well.
Okay.
So great, but I'm so excited to hear that you passed that math one and that you used your resources to do that. And then I know your second goal was to pass this history playlist, the causes of the French Revolution. So tell me where you are with that one right now.
Yeah, so I got when I had access to Jake, I worked on the playlist we were talking about, but then I worked on another math playlist too, and I passed that one.
Mm.
But I didn't really spend a lot of time on the history one. So I've looked at it a little bit. I've taken a few notes, but really I didn't spend much time on it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you still think? I remember last week you thought history was a priority, so that you could get back on track in that class. Do you still think history is a priority, or have your priorities shifted?
Yeah. Well, now that I passed two math focus areas, I'm ready to go back to history because I'm on track in math.
Okay.
So um, it's definitely a priority. I think my goal this week should be to work on that focus area and pass it.
Okay. And I see that you have passed history playlists before. Are there any history specific strategies that have been useful for you?
Yeah, history for me is I tend to get it more quickly than I get math.
Mm-hmm.
I've used a couple different programs online. Like I like Quizlet to study for history, especially because there's so much vocabulary, and I can play the games and try and be the fastest. So I'll probably do the same.
What you're going to be doing this week? What can you write? Go ahead and write your action item into the PLP. Tell me what you're going to write.
I think I'll say that I'm going to work on the French Revolution playlist, and I'll make certain to make a Quizlet for each objective, and then I'll study them.
Great. So I'm hearing when you say work on the French Revolution causes playlist, what do you mean by that, work on it?
I mean that I'll go through the resources, I'll take some notes, and then I'll turn those notes into a Quizlet.
Great. Why don't you write that in there?
All right. I will take notes on French Revolution and build a Quizlet. And I'll put the date as Wednesday.
Wednesday. Great. And so then we're going to meet the following Friday. So when do you think you're going to be ready to take this content assessment?
If I do that by Wednesday, then I can take the assessment on Thursday.
Okay. Great. You want to add that in there as well?
Sure.
That way we can come back next week and check in on how that went.
Yep. Perfect.
All right. Thanks so much, Tay.
Thank you. See you in Las Vegas.